I'm Nicole Baxter. I'm the new communications officer with the City of Citrus Heights, and today I'm excited to be interviewing Chris Boyd, our city manager. So thank you for joining us. Chris, to start, I thought maybe you could share just what it means to be a city manager.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to be doing this. I have been with the city for a long time now. So I was hired to be our city's first city manager back at the end of 2005 as our chief of police. And at that time, we were a relatively new city. The city was contracting with the Sheriff's Department for police services. So back then, they wanted to start their own police department. And so I was hired as our first chief of police. And we built the police department, and then I served as our chief for about 11 years. And then the city council hired me to become our city manager in 2016. So I've been serving as our city manager for a little over 3 years. So what does a city manager do? Well, in essence, I serve as the city's CEO. So I'm responsible for really everything in the city. Planning, supervising, coordinating the city's budgets, all of our policies, the council policies and direction, and all of the department heads report to the city manager, and we run the city as a team under our direction. So it's been a pleasure and such a great job and such a great city. I love it.
That's awesome. So just a couple things on your plate, right?
Just a few, but it's all exciting.
That's great. So one thing I think our listeners would be interested in learning is, we've got 2020, we're looking ahead at this year, and we've got some big things planned. But I wanted to first start by maybe talking about some of the challenges that City Hall is facing currently.
Sure. Yeah. We have plenty of challenges, lots of successes. I look forward to talking about those, but it's been, sometimes it's difficult as a community and running a city. So everything we do requires, strategic planning around funding. So, one of the things we grapple with when putting our budgets together is really kind of a lot of mandates that are out of our control that cost money that is really put upon us. So unfunded mandates coming down from the state is really our biggest challenge. And for example, for a few years back, the state decided to do away with what was called redevelopment agencies, and this is millions of dollars to us, about $3.5 million a year that we are able to use for economic development and really revitalizing and improving a number of things in our community. We no longer have that money, and we have to really find ways to look for other sources to do those important things. We have over $500,000 a year in terms of state mandated programs where the legislature, they pass laws, they put it down on cities and counties to require us to do things that cost money without any reimbursement or funding that comes behind that. Most all these things are really seamless behind the community's view, but to our operations, they're expensive. Some are in the police department, some are in other departments, stolen vehicle reporting and notifications, and peace officer bill of rights, Brown Act compliance, the Department of Justice crime statistic reports. These are all things that we are required to do. These laws are passed, they cost money, and we don't have a way to pay for and frankly even plan for them. So that can get difficult. Additionally, I think most everyone is aware that over the last number of years, there is consistent legislation and laws that are passed around criminal justice reform. And being a police officer for 27 years, I understand this more than most, that it's difficult for our police officers to do the job that they want to do when we have more criminals out on the street. Our homelessness population has exploded as a result of these state policies and many other things. And I have so much appreciation and pride for our men and women in blue. They do such a great job, but at times are working against them with these, these unfunded mandates. So a number of other areas in waste management. The state is requiring us to do more and more expensive things to manage and divert waste from landfills without funding. We've lost major international recycling markets that is leads to costs, to our ratepayers in our community. Commercial recycling, new requirements, organics recycling, all of this is, really been coming down upon us with no funding behind it. The programs are worthy, but they cost money. So, there's a number of other things, but really those are examples of unfunded mandates that we grapple with every year, and seemingly there are more of them every year.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because we hear unfunded mandates. I mean, that's kind of like a buzzword in the news these days. So it's interesting to learn about the specific things that are coming down and how that hits our city, and it's a burden on us. I know that's all in addition to really funds needed for our own like road improvement projects. So that's in addition to kind of the stuff the city's already taking on, right? I mean,
Right.
we have our own infrastructure needs in addition to that pressure, right?
Yes, perhaps our largest need, where there's just really hasn't been the necessary funding is in our infrastructure, particularly our roads. And, every city and county is dealing with this statewide, Sacramento County in general, but our city is fallen victim to that as well. And, we have a lot of expensive work that needs to be done on our roadways, and we need to find ways to fund that. And that's absolutely what we're working hard on every day to figure out how to do.
And I think that leads into some of our good news. So we have some exciting road projects underway. Let's kind of pivot and talk about the highlights, like some of the recent projects that we've been doing that you're particularly excited about.
Oh, there's so many. Our city has such a great tradition. We're in our 22nd year of incorporation. And I'm so proud of our community and all the work that we've been able to do here at the city and all of our staff. And particularly this last year, we have a lot to highlight and to talk about. So, I think one of the core functions of government is public safety. And, I think we have one of the best police departments you'll find anywhere. These men and women they're incredible at their craft. And they're very skilled in problem solving. And as a result, we've had a significant decrease in crime really, over the last 14 years. But in the last 2 years, it's been quite notable, double-digit in a decrease in crime. And I happen to know that we're on pace this year for another double-digit decrease.
That's incredible.
This calendar is coming off of this calendar year. So I just can't say enough, what a great job that the men and women in our police department do working in conjunction with the community. Economic development really continues to be, our number one priority in terms of our initiatives moving forward. Retaining and attracting local businesses is, one of the single most important things that we can be focused on. So we've laid out a number of strategies to really focus on that. And this comes in, in a variety of different forms and where we've had successes so far. The Dignity Health Medical Group just completed really, our new medical office building. And one of the key components, and that's right here in our area near City Hall, one of the key components of economic development is jobs and job creation. Mm-hmm. And that's an example of a great project that we were able to bring over 200 new, really high-paying jobs that we know really gives quite an infusion into our local economy. So we're going to continue to look for projects like that. But perhaps, the single, biggest target for us that we're working on right now, and we'll be working on very hard this year and next year, is the Sunrise Mall. And everybody knows there's a lot of history with our mall. It's the original kind of suburban mall in the Sacramento region going back to the early 70s. It's had a lot of success back then, but we all know that it's really hasn't been as inviting and as successful of the anchor of our business district over the last decade or so that we want to see. So the council and I and the staff have really decided on a bold move. We're taking control of that situation, and we've decided to embark on something called a specific plan. And it's challenging on that property. It's 100 acres. There are 4 owners, primary owners on that property. So we have engaged them, and we have laid out a process for a comprehensive vision to really evolve and grow that property into something completely new, and something that will work great for our city and for the surrounding region, and kind of restore that property to what it once was. That's kind of really the center of our immediate region here, and really have a positive impact on our economy.
And it's my understanding that creating a specific plan for a project like this is not something that every city does. So you're kind of laying the groundwork, right, for investors to come in, and you're kind of making it easier, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What a specific plan does is it really lays out a design that is decided upon through an extensive and comprehensive process of engaging our community. And then the state laws are very specific and extensive around environmental review once you have a design before you can approve to build. So the city is funding that for our property owners in order to bring them all together and to keep that entire 100-acre property on the table and working together. And so we will take this specific plan all the way through that process. So at the end, we have a shovel-ready project that can pencil for investors, and that we can build something great down there and revitalize that mall and have a property that everyone's going to love and want to go there and hang out there. And that's what we're really looking to do.
Bring it back to its former glory, so to speak, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So I know that's top of mind for everyone. So the community is invited to an open house, right, on February 11th. So the specific plan includes community feedback, stakeholder feedback. So we definitely want to engage people there. But moving on to other exciting projects, do you want to talk about Studio Movie Grill?
Sure. Yeah. So many to talk about. So Auburn Boulevard is really one of the other commercial areas that we've been working hard on the last few years. Half of the boulevard is done, and we're seeing great success from that. Public improvements all up and down the boulevard, undergrounding all the utilities, putting in new and much improved landscape and curbs and sidewalks and gutters. So we're finishing that project all the way down to Interstate 80, and really anchoring the far end of Auburn Boulevard down by the interstate. We have successfully landed a Studio Movie Grill, movie theater, and that is being completely built out as we're speaking now. And we'll have some public improvements in the roadway area and the public areas to complement that new center and that business and surrounding businesses. So we are really headed now. We're in the design phase to finish that. And so we know we're going to have, a great Auburn Boulevard. And on the other end of Auburn Boulevard, Sylvan Corners, the city's recently purchased an old school district property that's now vacant and flat. It's a little over 11 acres. So we are walking the city council through some options over the next month or two on what could go there. And we've seized control of that property in order to control the destiny of that use and how that's going to really help Auburn Boulevard. And then once we have a plan, we'll partner with a developer and build something great there. So that whole area is we've had great success, and this year is a big year to help finish that and make some great decisions to really improve the economy and the quality of life for everybody up and down Auburn Boulevard and surrounding neighborhoods.
Yeah, I'm sure the community is looking forward. I think the plan is going to be presented with some suggestions to council in February. So
Yes.
We'll make sure to keep you guys updated on that too. I think another topic that everyone wants to talk about is the new housing development that's going in. Do you want to talk a little bit about Mitchell Farms too?
Sure, absolutely. So Mitchell Farms is, I think most everyone knows that the city of Citrus Heights is, for the most part, built out. We don't have a lot of vacant land, but our last really large piece of land, we are currently underway and building, a substantial housing project, about 260 single-family homes. We call it Mitchell Farms. It's down by the mall area, so it's within the business district, and we're excited about that because one, we're going to be able to bring in some top quality housing, but have it really placed within the marketplace. It's in walking distance, from our largest commercial business area, and we think that's going to, help us economically, in addition to providing some high quality housing and bringing in some new families into Citrus Heights. So that's a really exciting project, and that's underway right now.
Yeah, that's exciting. I like its proximity to the mall and what's going to happen there. It's going to be really exciting.
Yeah.
So we've covered a lot of the highlights, and I think one thing that our community is really good at is being engaged. So we've got a couple of community workshops coming up for the specific plan for Sunrise Mall, but how else can people get involved?
So, I think that the biggest thing our community could do to help us and to engage and to have a voice is to really take our survey. We have a survey out now that asks you some questions. It's brief. It won't take you long around a lot of these topics that we're talking about. And so we'd like you to go to chpriorities.net and to be really part of the largest engagement effort really our city has ever undertaken. We really want to hear from you. It's important, and we pride ourselves to being engaged and make sure we accurately understand what our community wants and what you all need. And so we're working on some exciting things, but we want to hear from you to help guide us further. It's important to our council, and it's important to all of us and our entire community. So chpriorities.net.
And we will drop that link into the comments section of this video so you can click and take it if you haven't already. And I know we've seen kind of some trends emerging from the survey already. So what do you think so far are some of the top things that people are ranking as high priority?
We've gotten a lot of returns. Thank you to everyone who's completed those surveys. We are seeing some trends so far. Everybody wants increased public safety, as we talked about. That's super important, and so we're seeing that. Homelessness absolutely comes up. We hear from folks that there's much more to do to address the topic of homelessness, and we absolutely are, and we hear that. A continued emphasis on local control. We formed our city 22 years ago for a reason. That primary reason is local control. And in terms of priority, that hasn't changed. And we're seeing that. And of course, transparent government. And, we understand that. And we expect to see, that as a priority from a lot more of you, which we would hope to see, because we agree with that. So folks also want to see, City Hall help to attract and retain local businesses. We know that's important in our community. We talked about that a little bit. And so that's really kind of our main themes we're seeing so far. So hopefully we'll see some more from folks as they fill out our surveys.
Yes, so this survey is open through June. So again, if you haven't taken it, please weigh in. We want to hear about your priorities and make sure we're aligned. So I think we have a couple minutes here at the end. So just kind of final thoughts for the city other than take the survey.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts as we look to sign off here?
Well, it's such a great honor and experience to lead our city, and I'm so proud of our city council, our elected officials do such a great job for us and setting the direction around all of these exciting things, and the hardworking women and men that comprise all of our staff who are out getting the job done each and every day. I want to thank them. Extraordinarily proud of them. And, our agenda that we just talked about and highlighted is perhaps, one of the most robust and exciting agendas for a calendar year that we've laid out, maybe even in our history. So we're excited about that. And it's important to hear from you, and we are accessible to you. So you let me know personally anytime you have a thought for me and our team, and we'll make sure we include that in our work. So I certainly want to thank everybody.
Well, great. Well, thank you for your time. And if you joined us midway through, we will be archiving this video on our Facebook page and sharing it out so you can rewatch it from the beginning. And exciting to share, we're going to be doing another Facebook Live like this with our Chief of Police next month. So stay tuned for updates on that. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you.